In the next couple of videos, I mean this one, the next one, and the third one, we are going to be putting all we've learned so far. We're going to be putting it to use. So I called these videos arithmetic operations in action because I want us to do something practical with all we've learned so far, including arithmetic operators. So we are going to be building 3 calculators. Okay, the first one is a calculator to calculate the area of a circle. The second one, which will be in the next video, will be for simple interest, while the third one will be a profit and loss calculator. So what you can do with VB is it's way above these 3 calculators. It's way above it, but I just want to keep it as basic as possible. So for this video, I'm going to be taking the calculator for area of a circle. So now getting into it, for you to calculate the area of a circle, the formula should be pi r square, right? Okay, so it is telling you that the 2 major inputs that you're going to be needing is pi and r, but pi is a constant, 22/7, you know. So r is what varies. So basically, the determinant for the area of a circle is the radius of the circle. So let's do a bit of work here. So okay, these are the 3 calculators we're going to be working on. So this is the one for this video. So Jamboard. Let's do a bit of Jamboard. Let's do a bit of illustration before we start coding. Actually, it's what I will advise everyone to do before you start writing your first line of code. Do a bit of analysis on what you want to do. That way, your code is not being basically you're solving the problem on paper or on something you used to sketch before actually solving it with code. Sorry, please. Somebody should come, please. Let's go and beg MTN. They should give us good network. Okay. VB operator in action. Okay, so I want my marker. I want the I want the marker and I want the bolder one. Okay, so now if I want to calculate the area of a circle, this is going to be pi then r squared. So another way to rewrite this formula is to say the area of a circle is pi r, so multiplied by r multiplied by r. So another way you can also rewrite it is to say this pi is 22/7, so you can say 22 multiply 22/7 multiply by radius, also multiplied by radius. So you can see that there are so many ways to write this formula, but one thing you will know is that the computer is not smart enough, at least this one we want to build is not smart enough to detect this square over here. This square over here, let me change this particular square over here. The computer is not smart enough to detect it. So we have to look for a way to rewrite this particular formula in such a way that the computer will know that, okay, this is what we want to calculate. So we have to look for a way to write everything in one line without any superscripts, especially this square, for example. And don't forget, in mathematics, if you say pi r square, this is just pi times r, but the computer will not understand this. The computer won't understand this. So what the computer is going to be understanding in its literal sense will be pi multiplied by r multiplied by r. Now you must also always put this multiplication sign over here. You must always put it, please. Don't forget. If you don't put the multiplication sign, it's going to be giving you might run into errors. So But this pi, like I said, this pi over here is 22 over 7 or 3.142. So for us to write it in such a way that the computer will understand, the best thing is to say, okay, instead of writing pi, you can just say 22 over 7 multiplied by r multiplied by r. So, but don't forget, like I said, this program we want to build especially is not that smart enough to know that this is 22 over 7. So, like I said, everything has to be written in one line. It has to be written in one line. So, how can we rewrite the whole of this in one line, just like one line like that? Let me change my pen to show that. Okay, so 22 over 7. What I can do is that I might decide to wrap this one. Then when I'm done, I'll divide everything by 7. So I can just do something like, I'll open a bracket, 22 multiplied by r multiplied by r again. Then close the bracket, divided by 7. So the computer will understand this. The computer will understand this. The computer will understand this. So this is what we're going to be using. This will be our final formula for calculating the area of a circle. Now, instead of using 22 and dividing everything by 7, another thing you can do is to, you might decide to do something like 3.142 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7. This will work as well. This will work as well. This will work just fine. So let's get into writing our code. This is what I'll be going with. This is what I'll be going with. So the first thing you want to do when you get here, don't forget, you have to declare your variables. And radius can be an integer, can also be a floating point number. So, but just to accommodate all cases, I'm going to be declaring the variable as a floating point number. So declaring the required variables. So the variables that I'll be needing, the radius, comma, area as decimal. Okay. Now, I have my radius and area as decimal. So this is going to be, okay, I have to accept input first. So accepting input from the user. So accepting the input from the user, I'm going to be having area. No. Console dot write line. No, console dot write. Console dot write. So enter the area of the circle. So let's do, okay. So radius equals to console dot read line. Then after accepting the input, the next thing I want to do is to do the processing or calculating the area. So basically what I'm going to be doing is area equals to, come back here. Don't forget, I said this is the formula that we're going to be using over here. So area is 22. No, I'll open a bracket first. After opening the bracket, I'll say 22 multiplied by r, close the bracket, everything divided by 7. So let me use my notepad to just copy it out. So this will be 22 multiplied by r multiplied by r close divided by 7. A copy. Where is this? Sorry, please, but don't forget what we have is radius and not r. R is not defined, so this will be radius, and this will also be radius. So so our area is calculated. The next thing you want to do is to show output. So showing the output, what you want to do is console.write the area of the circle is, put a space, then you console.write again area. So I think this should work. Area. So this should work. This should work. So let's think of inputs that we can use. So let's think of inputs that we can put to our program. So if I use 7, then I use 10, and I use maybe 15. So 7, 10, and 15, those are going to be our inputs. So if I'm using 7, so 22 divided by 7 times 7 times 7, this will cancel this. So 22 times 7 should be 154. So 154. So let me bring up my calculator. Let me bring up my calculator. So we're not working in the blind. Oh, my calculator opened twice. Okay, so 22 times 7 equals to what? 154, yes. So this is correct. But if I'm using 10, 22 times 10 divided by 7, basically. So let me clear this. 22 times 10 times 100, then anything I have divided by 7 equals to what? 314.28. So for 15, now for 15, so clear. 22 times 15 times 15, everything divided by 7 equals to what? 707.14. So let's go and try out our program. So the first one is 7. Run the program. So enter the area of the circle. 7. No. I've made a mistake here. There's a mistake somewhere. I've made a mistake. There's a mistake somewhere. What's the area of the circle? 7. Okay, 154. Okay, actually, there was no mistake. The compiler is misbehaving, kind of. So the area of the circle is 154, and you can see 154 here. So let's try out 10. Exit the console, run it again. This compiler is misbehaving. Something like that sometimes, we're using it online, and it might be network as well. So the area of the circle I don't know why this thing is misbehaving this manner. Then, okay, 3.4 points. You can see 314.28, blah blah blah. I didn't even consider these ones. It should be 314.29. So please take note. So for the last one, which is 15, the last one, which is 15, you can see 707.14. 707.14. So this works fine for calculating the area of a circle. And another thing you should know is that if you look at it very well, I'm using the user is the one giving me the values for the radius. What if I just want to supply the values directly without asking the user? All I have to do is let me comment this one out, and let me comment this one out. So if I should come here and put in 7, it will just calculate the area for me directly. You will see now. You see the area is 154, and if I put 10, basically I'm not accepting anything from the user anymore. I've used my comment to, like, I've commented it out. So you see 31428, then 15. As you run it, it works just fine. It works just fine. So I'll see you in the next video where we are going to be working on the simple interest calculator. So till then, bye for now.